some of the stuff that I'm saying sound like I'm crazy, and I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And I know they say, well, everybody that's crazy say they ain't crazy. But anyway. Whoa, now what's happening with it? Hey, this video is going to be about some of my personality traits. Pretty much a clarification of a lot of things that I talked about in my previous videos. And just kind of break some of the things down and clarify what I meant by being toxic and depression and different things that I've dealt with throughout my life. And I may talk about when I lost my father, or if I run out of time in this video, I'll do that one in the next video. But that was a big turning point in my life as well. But we'll just jump right into it. My whole life I've gone through, I won't say my whole life, but because when I was younger, when my dad was living, and not only my dad, but my mother as well, they always taught us to do that we could be anything we wanted to be. They always taught us that we were worth it. They always taught us, you know what I'm saying, that we were who God made us and that we were who God said we were. And all of those type of things, you know, they always reassured us that we were worth something, that we were somebody. And my dad had this thing that there's no such thing as can't. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want. You can be whatever you want. Just all that kind of stuff. So I don't want you guys to think that we weren't raised with those values and different type of stuff like that. But for whatever reason, I imagine it's from some of the things that I suffered in life. But again, I'll jump right into it. My personality is kind of addictive. My personality is, well, I won't really say my personality, but some of the things that I've touched on, like as far as insecurity, I don't know if I ever mentioned I had low self-esteem, but all of that's the same. Low self-esteem, insecurity, trust issues, depression, just all kind of stuff like that, anxiety, all kind of stuff like that. So basically, to get into it, I've always been insecure, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because when you tell people that, it's like it just goes clean over their head, because most time people believe more in you than you do in yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's understandable, you know. But that's just to touch on a few things, like I said. So one thing that's been kind of sticking in my head has been that I mentioned that it's hard to live with me. And I'll go back to all of the rest of the things as we go, but I just want to try to keep moving, but at the same time not miss anything. But one thing that's really been sticking with me since I said it in my video was that it's hard to live with me. And what I mean by that is I've never been like physically or verbally or mentally abusive to people or anything like that, but just because of who I am. Like I said, sometimes I'm just angry, I'm full of anger, and that comes out, and it's not like I'll just cuss you out, you know what I'm saying? I'm always cussing, don't get me wrong, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm always cussing and angry and upset. But it's not like I'm cussing you out. I'm not saying you so-and-so and I'll do this and you add whatever. It's never like that, you know what I'm saying? It's always at a situation or something that triggered me or something like that. But meaning that's one of the things about the anger as far as being hard to live with me. But I think the main thing in some situations is that I'm not really an outgoing person, and all of that comes back from this insecurities and low self-esteem and all that different type of stuff. But I'm not really an outgoing person, so I didn't go out a lot. and not so much just go out by myself, but even when I had my family, I didn't take them to parks and stuff all the time like that. We went and we did things, but not as much as I believe, not as much as we should have or much as I should have, because I always had this thing about, and that's another thing. I'm not crazy about confrontation, but I know people and their children. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying not to jump around, but all of it ties in together. But that's another thing about me. I'm always thinking about the what if. What if this happens, or what if that happens? And you know what I'm saying? And that's the way my mind works. But to go back to that, to the being out in public or parks and different stuff like that, it's like I've seen it over and over again, and I know how people feel about their children, and I know how children are with children, and you know, because we all raise our children different, and they all have different ways and values and different stuff like that, and some of them share, some of them don't, different stuff like that, but all of those things ultimately, and sometimes it may not even happen, but in my mind, all of those things ultimately is like, okay, we're gonna go to this park, somebody gonna tell them children something, and whoever I'm with at the time, well, basically, let me not just say whoever, but at the time, my ex-wife, she wasn't no pushover. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't a punk. She was about it. You know what I'm saying? So my thing was, somebody gonna tell one of them children something, and it's gonna be on and crack. Or somebody will have to tell, or she'll tell somebody else's children about doing something to her. You know, just something like that. And then eventually it's gonna be on. And it's not that I wouldn't be able to handle the situation, but why even get into that? You know, and that's wrong, because you don't know the future. You can't predict the future or what's going to happen, and it's not good to live your life that way. But that's who I am. That's how my mind works. So that was one of the things I mentioned about not going out in public a lot. I'm not crazy about crowds. I don't like a lot of people in one place. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, for whatever reason, that's just who I am. I can remember back when I was a kid, and at holidays we always used to get together at my grandmother's house, my mother's house, and there was always a lot of people in there, and for some reason I would always get sick, whether it was a headache and I think it was a defense mechanism. But anyway, it would always end up where they would allow me to go in the room by myself, and I was more comfortable that way without being, and even though I knew these people and I loved these people because they were my family, it wasn't like strangers, you know what I'm saying? But it was just too many people in one place, you know. And I've even, as an adult, I've even been in churches where I couldn't sit on the end, where I would be able to get out if I was having anxiety or whatever, or if that too much people anxiety thing would kick in and I need to get up and go to the restroom or outside for some air or whatever. It was just a lot for me, and I would just have to leave or go sit way in the back or somewhere. And in some churches that I've been with, they usher you to, you know, they want to fill up, but they want to fill up in order. And I understand that. But anyway, not to get off the subject, that was one of my issues too. And like I said, I mentioned about being hard to live with. You know, people like to go out. People like to do things. But me, I'm good at home. And don't get it wrong, I enjoy the park. I enjoy nature. I love nature, actually. But sometimes I'm just good at home. I don't have to do those things. But other people feel like, you know, they enjoy going out. They enjoy going out to eat, going to movies, going different places, having fun, you know what I'm saying? Doing something other than being in the house. But I've always been okay with just being in the house. And there are times where I feel like, you know what? I feel like getting out of here, or I need to get out of here and do something or whatever. But those are some of the things that I mean by being hard to live with. And again, I spoke on it, but sometimes I'm up and sometimes I'm down. Like today, I'll be your best friend. I'm always going to be your best friend if I'm your best friend. But today I'll be talking. We could have a whole conversation for hours at a time and laughing and talking and whatever. And then tomorrow we might wake up and I might not say 2 words the whole day. I'll tell you good morning. I'll tell you I love you if that's the situation. I'll tell you, all of that type of stuff, but the conversation will be pretty much null and void. The smiles and the laughs and all of that, that's just, I don't know why I'm that way, but that's just the way I am. And for people, that's inconsistency. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that. And I used to expect people to understand, like I have this thing with my wife, and I used to feel the same way about even with my ex-wife and people that I opened up and got close to, that you know me better than anybody, I expect you to understand. But I really can't expect people to understand if that's not who they are. You know what I'm saying? And people believe in, and I'm from Missouri. Show me you love me. You know what I'm saying? Show me you're glad to be around me. Show me you're happy to be with me. Show me and I get it, but I can't sometimes I don't know how to do that, or sometimes I can't do that. And it's not that I don't want to. And I was even that way with my children. Like I said, they would be laughing and joking and playing with their mother in the front, and I'd always be in my bedroom either watching TV or whatever I was doing. But I would always be off to myself, and I guess they just got used to it, and they didn't really bother me, but in looking back at it, that wasn't healthy either, because sometimes I was depressed and sometimes I wasn't. I was just, to me, like I've said before, I love people and I have a love for people, but I feel comfortable when I'm by myself a lot of times. So anyway, just like I said, just wanted to touch on a few things. I've said in these video series that I was unstable and mentally unstable. And I don't mean, I think we all are in some areas of our lives. So I don't mean in a sense that I'm a serial killer, or I'm always thinking evil, or I'm always thinking negative, or I'm always thinking something that's not right. You know what I'm saying? But we all have our own thoughts and different process and all of that. Speaking back on the mental issues that I'm talking about, or that I was talking about, or that I'm always talking about, or not just, like, oh, I'm just crazy, and sometimes I can flip out, and sometimes I can get so mad I can tear something up. And as a youngster, I used to beat up on stuff, not people, but I used to tear stuff up and break stuff and punch holes in the walls and doors and different stuff. But because I had learned how to do that, I had to fix all of that shit when I finished. But that's not what stopped me from doing that. I just got older and I matured, but the anger sometimes is still there, and the feeling of doing that sometimes is still there. But we make better choices as we get older and get a little more understanding on life and things like that. But just basically saying that when I say I have mental issues, I'm not saying that I need to be in the institute, or I'm just crazy, or I'm a threat to people, or I'm a threat to myself. It's not stuff like that. It's just basically those same mental issues of insecurity, of low self-esteem, of, all of those different things like that. All of trust issues, always thinking somebody's out to get me, always thinking, and I don't mean get me like somebody trying to kill me or somebody trying to, because I don't have much for them to take, but I just always feel like people don't respect me, you know what I'm saying? Or I always feel like people think, I have this thing about people thinking that I'm dumb or I'm stupid or I'm green or I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I mentioned before about being the L7, about being a square, but never been a dummy, never been stupid or you understand what I'm saying? I'm okay on that area. I can see what's happening. You feel me? Even though it's been times I've seen it happening and allowed it to happen, that don't mean I can't see it happening. And so I've always had this thing about, because that's the first place my mind go to. Oh, they just think I'm stupid. They just think I'm whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know no better. They could just tell me whatever they want, and I'm just gonna roll with it. Or I don't know no better. I've always had that type of feeling because I've always felt like because I'm so easygoing, or because I'm always smiling and laughing and joking and all of that, that you could just run anything on me and I'm just gonna, roll with it. But I'm not that dude. But anyway, so I basically just wanted to clear some of those things up and really break those down. What I mean by that, by being mentally unstable sometimes. And like I said, it's never been where I wanted to hurt somebody or hurt myself or I'm just crazy, I done lost my mind. And that's one of the reasons why, and that's another thing about relationships and being hard to live with, because people like to go out and have fun, you know what I'm saying? And I drink socially, not as much as I used to. Right now, it's been a while. But like I say, I used to drink a couple of beers every now and then, but it's been a while since I've done that. But before I used to drink, alcohol and beer. And even when I was younger, I smoked and all of that other kind of stuff. So I understand all of that. And some people enjoy that, you know what I'm saying? Some people enjoy going parties. Some people enjoy hanging out with family. They just enjoy the things that's hard for me to enjoy at this stage in my life or at that stage in my life. You know what I mean? So that's another thing I was saying about being hard to live with, because I'm not, people would, like what people would say would be a party pooper, but because I know how to party too, but I just don't do a lot of the things that people do, and I think sometimes even that can spice up stuff. Even that can, like even if you're with your mate and your mate might want to have a few drinks and get tipsy or get drunk. Some people like to get drunk, you know what I'm saying? When I was younger, I used to get drunk, not passed out, pissy, falling out drunk, but I used to get pretty toe up, but I never wanted to get in a situation where I didn't know what happened. I never wanted to get that drunk or that high, you know what I'm saying? Even as a youngster, I never wanted to get like that, because I've always had this issue with being out of control. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, all of that, again, stems from insecurities, low self-esteem, anxieties, all that different kind of stuff. All of it plays a part. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and I'm probably jumping around because my mind is all over the place because I'm trying to touch on everything, but go fast at the same time and not forget anything. And so naturally, I'm going to forget a bunch of stuff. And when I look back at the video, I'm going to trip out on myself because why you didn't say this, why you didn't do that, whatever. But it's always another time. But basically, I just wanted to touch on some of those things and mention some of those. Because like I said, a lot of that played a part in my relationships. A lot of that played a part in my friendship. Even now, like, I'm not crazy about talking on the phone. And I have friends and family that I don't really keep in touch with like that, or that I may keep in touch with, but I don't call all the time, or I don't talk to all the time. And that don't mean I don't care, but I just don't do it. But to them, I can understand them feeling like I don't care because I don't do it. But I'm just not, I don't know, I'm just never really been that person. But anyway, not to make it like I just want to basically say that, I guess to say that I'm not crazy, because I come off like some of the stuff that I'm saying sound like I'm crazy, and I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And I know they say, well, everybody that's crazy say they ain't crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on some of that. And I know that the insecurities and the low self-esteem comes from being overweight my whole life. But I've been up and down, but I've always, in my mind, been overweight. Even when I go back and look at pictures and different stuff of certain times where I had lost the weight, I still felt like I was overweight. That I carried that mentally with me my whole life. And I believe that partially, that's where that partially came from, was with the weight. Well, I know that most of that was from the weight. I know it was from a few other things that I haven't talked on, and I'll probably talk on later on. But I know the weight was a major part of it, being insecure, being low self-esteem. And even though people love my singing, even though people love me, even though people feel like, whatever. Because like I said, it's always been about, oh, you got the beautiful smile, you got some pretty hair, and you know what I'm saying, different stuff like that. And I've even had people tell me that I look like I'm from the islands or something like that. But our people from everywhere. So anyway, like I said, and that's another thing to piggyback on that. I always mention about certain things about my physical looks or physical aesthetics. And like I said, that's what I grew up on. That's what I put all of my work into. My hair. Because that's what all people all used to talk about. That pretty hair, that pretty curly hair. Or that pretty smile. And that's why I'm having so much issue with my dental issues and stuff right now, which I'm going to get them taken care of. I'm in the process. I'm in the process right now dealing with that. But a person shouldn't have to deal with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But we do. We all do. It may not be the hair for you. It may not be the smile for you. It may not be those fat cheeks for you, because people always, like I said before, they used to always say, oh, you got some big fat cheeks, come here, let me pinch them jaws, and different stuff like that. But like I said, I believe I put all of my work in that, because that's what that's the only thing to me that people was interested in about me. You know what I'm saying? You got a beautiful voice, you got a beautiful smile, you got a beautiful hair. So my thing was always, and I've said it to people, my thing was, because when I first started dating after I divorced or separated from my ex-wife, I had people, like I said, that I talked to, but I had never met in person on Facebook. And I always thought it's just about the voice. And I've said to people, so what if I lose my voice? What if I lose my smile? What if my hair go bald? You know what I'm saying? Because that's where I thought all of my worth was. You know what I'm saying? In my voice, in my smile, and in the curly hair that people always talk. That's all they talk about. And most people don't know, other stuff. I know a lot of shit. Most people don't even know I know. But I kind of pride myself on that because, like I said before, if I put my mind to it, I don't care what it is, I believe I could do it. And I've always felt good about that. And I know even that, just like the voice, I know that's a gift from God. God gives you many gifts, you know what I'm saying, and talent. So, like I said, I know that's a gift too, and I thank God for it. I thank God for the voice. I thank God for the smile. I thank Him because I believe, and I would like to hope that it's really my spirit that draws people to me. Because people, even that, they'll say, you're so calm and your voice is so calm in talking to people, or you don't make people feel bad, or you don't, even in work, I started to help people to get their CDL license right after I got mine. And now nobody wants to deal with nobody but Adam LeBeau. You know what I'm saying? But Adam LeBeau ain't gonna always be there, you know what I'm saying? But I understand, because in a lot of my life I don't have patience. But when I think back about it, or when I think about it, in a lot of cases I do have more patience with people than I believe I have. I believe I have more patience with people than a lot of other people, because people can be a lot. And it's kind of like an oxymoron, but I say I need to be away from people, but it's always people that want to be around me. You know what I'm saying? And I, like I said, if I'm thinking it's the spirit that God gave me, then I can understand why. You know what I'm saying? But I don't always think about it like that. I always think about it like, man, I need a break. I love you. You're cool people, but I need a break. I need some me time. That's enough for me. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm jumping around, and I may have gotten off topic. I don't even know, because I don't know where I am on the topic with this. But just to go back to all of the stuff I'm saying, it's about we all have mental issues. And I think we all need to learn how to deal with them. And we can't teach ourselves. And some of us may be able to, but I don't think I can. Because I haven't figured it out. How to tell myself that I'm more than what I could tell myself all day. And we can always tell ourselves all day to the positive affirmations and all of that kind of stuff. But telling yourself and believing it is two different things. You know what I'm saying? Because I try to tell myself that, you know what? God made you in His image. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. But then it always goes back to you're fat, you're losing your teeth, your hair might go bald. Just all kind of stupid shit that we do. You know what I'm saying? And we say it's the devil telling us all of that negative, but the devil brings a lot of negative, but sometimes we bring it because we're so used to doing it too. And all of that's mental issues. You know what I'm saying? And that's the main thing I'm trying to touch on. That we all have stuff, and they're all mental issues. And that's what I mean by mental issues. Like I said, I never put my hands on women. I never just flat out cuss. I've cussed people out, trust me. I've cussed people out, but I never just flat out cut, because I respect people. I respect, and mainly I'm talking about in relationships, because like I said, again, going back and looking at these videos, a lot of things I'm saying, can make it sound like, oh, well, damn, why he was so hard to live with? He was beating the person up, or he was cussing the person out, or mentally. Because you don't always have to physically abuse somebody. You can mentally abuse them. And that was never my issue. That was never my thing. But at the same time, if I'm laughing and talking with you today and don't say too much to you tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? That could be a mental abuse, but it's not intended to do that. But anyway, just to touch on all of that, that's all I'm saying. And like I said, my personality has always been addictive. That's why I thank God Thank God, thank God. Because like I said, when I was younger, I smoked weed. You know what I'm saying? Tried all different kind of weed. Tried hash, all that kind of stuff. But I never was into the pills and the acid, because after I moved on the West Bank, I moved in an all-white neighborhood, and pretty much most of my white friends, they was doing all kind of shit, sniffing gas, huffing paint. And I'm not talking about white folks, I'm just saying that was my experience. And all of them didn't do all of that, but I mean, they was taking tea and snorting coke and just all kind of shit, pills, black mileage, speed, uppers and downs, all kind of shit. I just never was into that, because again, I didn't want to go that route, and I thank God that I didn't, because my personality is addictive. For a long time, I was addicted to porn. I'm not gonna lie about that. You know what I'm saying? It started off when I was young, when I was a kid, with the what they call them, the books, anyway, the Playboy books and different stuff like that, and it just went from there. And like I said, my personality is addicted, obviously, because food is an addiction, sexual addiction, just all kind of different addictions. You know what I'm saying? Addicted to the norm, addicted to what's the word? Addicted to, like, basically the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't like change. I don't like when things change up. If something is in one spot and it's working for me, I need it in that spot, or it throws me off. If I gotta work at 5 o'clock and I leave at, if I have to be to work at 5 o'clock and I leave at 4 o'clock and I only work 15 or 20 minutes away, I gotta leave at 4 o'clock. If I leave after 4 o'clock, I'm jacked up. That's what I'm trying to say. Different stuff like that. And so all of that's addiction to food. And I always say, or we always say that, well, I didn't want us to give up everything that we grew up on, because a lot of stuff we did grow up on and we're used to it, and it's comfort and all of that different type of stuff. But there are times in my life where I can fight and won't do it. But then there's that time when it come back. It's just like being addicted to drugs. People can get off drugs for a long time, you know what I'm saying, and just pop back at it. One time is all it takes, you know what I'm saying? Or triggered, and that's a wrap, you're back at it. And I've gone through that with food. You know what I'm saying? I'll try this situation and that worked for me, and I'll lose the X amount of weight and feel good and look better and all of that kind of stuff. But all it takes is a bad day at work, or just like I used to smoke cigarettes, and I quit smoking cigarettes. And a lot of things that I've quit in my life, I quit cold turkey. And it wasn't easy, but it happened, you know what I'm saying? But again, I quit smoking, I think when I was 22, right when I got married the first time. Quit smoking cigarettes, quit drinking beer, quit smoking weed, all of that. And shit, I had to be in my 30s, late 30s, and got into it with somebody and was all the way turned up, pissed off, ready to do something, all kind of shit. And next thing you know, I'm sitting at my brother's bar with a Black and Mild and some beer. You know what I'm saying? I'm that's just addiction. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't smoked a cigarette or a Black and Mild in all of them years. And boom, just like that, it was back. But anyway, like I say, that's my personality. It's addictive. I like what I like. I don't like it to change. I like it to stay the same way. You know what I'm saying? And that just is what it is. Anyway, this video is getting kind of long. It's actually longer than I wanted it to be. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on some of those things, you know, and the anxiety, the addiction, the depression, the low self-esteem, just different stuff like that, you know, and I'm working on getting some counseling and dealing with different type of stuff like that. And I think even though I don't like to be busy all the time, the busier I am, the easier it is in some sense. It's never really easy, but the less I have to think about it, or the less I have to, you know, like even at work, I talk to somebody and I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna finish this video up hopefully. I talked to somebody at work just the other day, and I was saying, even before the whole mask situation, and to each his own, believe what you want. I'm not trying to push my agenda or push what I believe to you, and I don't want to really hear what you believe because it don't matter to me in that sense. But he was saying, why you wearing a mask? Before, you weren't wearing a mask and you ain't got sick and this, that, and other. Well, to be honest with you, I believe I already had that. Not that I can't get it again, but I believe that I already had that, but I'm still cautious about it. But I realized, and I had to realize myself, because I had to tell them, you know what, you got a point. But to be honest with you, the reason I wear this mask, and it's so stupid, but the reason I wear this mask is because of my mouth. I don't want people looking in my mouth, knowing that I'm losing my teeth, and talking about me and laughing at me and all that stupid shit that I shouldn't even be worried about. You know what I'm saying? But I am. And that's another thing I wanted to say. I know we all, and like I said before, we all have egos, and we all are vain to some extent. Some of us a little more than others. You know, I've always felt like I wasn't vain, but I am. If I wear clothes or shoes or my beard or my hair, comb my hair a certain way, cut my hair a certain way, wear a certain hat, wear a certain clothes, I do it for me, that's true. But I also do it because I gotta represent for the big dudes. Now, let me stop playing. But I'm saying basically we all have that. We all are vain. We all want to feel like we look like something. We all want to feel like, you know, that people are attracted to us, and everybody you meet's not going to be attracted to you, you know. And it's not necessary that everybody you meet be attracted to you, but we all want to feel attracted. You know what I'm saying? That's just the bottom line, and all of that comes from vanity. You know, because some people don't give a damn whether you're attracted to them or not. Some people don't give a damn whether you like what they got on or not, or none of that. And I applaud that. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could be that way, but I'm not. And I just got to be honest with myself and with you guys, because if I lie to you, I can't lie to me, because I live with me. I know, you know. So just saying all of that to say, you know, that we all have a little vanity in us, and we all have a little ego, whether it's a big one or a small one. You know what I'm saying? And so, just saying all of that to say is, you know, it bothers me that I'm losing my teeth. It bothers me that one day I might have a bald spot in the top of my head or the back of my head. It bothers me. And all of the reason it bothers me is, like I said, because that's where I thought, or that's where, to me, that's where my value was. As far as the weight thing, I've learned that it's gonna bother me no matter what, but I've also learned that I know how to get it off when I want to get it off, and even when I get it off, it's still not enough. But that's another one of my issues. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, this video is getting pretty long. I really didn't want it to be this long, and so I'm gonna talk about losing my dad in the next video. And anything I left out in this one, I'll probably talk about in that one, you know. And so I hope you guys got a better understanding of basically of who I am. And I guess it's just to really I guess that's all a part of my ego too. Just to clear it up, to let you guys know that I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying? And just to let you guys know that, you know, I'm not flaky, I'm not crazy, I'm not a woman beater, I'm not, you know, and it all goes back to trying to be a stand-up dude. I feel like I am, but in some cases I didn't make the mark. I know I didn't. As far as with raising my children, as far as with not being there for my first children, as far as all of the jumping around between females when all of that situation happened, instead of just taking time for me or trying to take control of all of those situations, I would just go from one to the other. And like I said before, as I've grown up, and even then, that's the one thing I wanted to touch on. And I promise you I'll end it with this. But even then, I mentioned that when people showed me some attention, you know, but everybody that showed me attention, I didn't just try to smash or just try to jump on them or try to be with them or whatever. Because I've been in situations where I've walked away from. I mean, in situations where I've walked away and people say, "You just gonna leave me like yeah, how you gonna just walk out on me like this?" I can't do it. You know, so I do have morals and I do have control in that area. And you know what I'm saying? So I don't want people to believe that about me, like I'm just easy or I'm just a hoe or I'm just, if somebody give me something, I just gotta jump. I never believed in that. Just because somebody offer you something, you gotta take it. Or if somebody give it to you, that ain't never been who I was, trust me. You know. And that don't make me a better man than the next man, because I've had my issues as well. And I put them on these videos, you know, so it's not like I'm saying I was a good man and I ain't never did this, I ain't never did that. I did what I did. I had my times where I did what I did, you know. And so, like I said, I'm going to end it on that note. We'll talk about my father, losing my father, how that affected, I believe that affected my whole life. But we'll talk about all of that, how I felt, you know, all of that type of stuff in the next video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If I left anything out, I'll try to catch it up in the next one or try to do another video. And again, if you guys have any questions or anything you need me to clarify, you know, it's okay. Ask the questions. I'm not tripping like that. If it is something you want to know or something that didn't add up, just ask the question, and I'm cool with that. I'll answer it to the best of my ability. You know, because like I said, a lot of this stuff I suppressed, and I didn't want to think about it, you know. And so a lot of it has been a long time ago. A lot of it I didn't remember. A lot of it I'm still trying to remember piece by piece. But anyway, again, thanks for watching. I'm going to keep the videos coming. I touched on the main ones about my children because I really want them to know that, you know, and from now on, these will be just a bit of who I am, and hopefully they may help somebody, and ultimately they'll help me, because when I go back and watch them, I can learn a little bit more about myself from looking from the outside. You know what I'm saying? So again, thanks for watching. Peace and one love.